What is up, YouTube? Back in the garage. Just got the engine out of the Celica this week, and I am looking to get this thing torn apart, get everything I need off of it. That way I can transfer everything over to this 1ZZ. So the story with this engine is that it has zero compression on all 4 cylinders. As I said in the last video, and as I showed, all 8 ports, intake and exhaust ports, all 16 valves are holding brake clean. The valve is sealing in the brake clean and not letting it drain down in the cylinder. So that means all of the valves are closing fine, which tells me that the head is fine and there's something else going on with the engine causing it to have zero compression on all cylinders, obviously. So until I have time to figure that out and get it on an engine stand and probably have to take the head off, this engine's going in. Came out of a 2005 Matrix. And I already got a bunch of goodies to put on it and basically refresh the motor. I don't want to be putting it in there with who knows how many leaks it had. It is a pretty high mileage engine, so I just want to give it its best shot at living a long life. So for now, let's get into it and start tearing apart this old 1ZZ. So first thing I want to do is get this transmission off and cleaned up. I'm going to be reusing it and crossing my fingers that it is in good shape. Again, I believe it's really high mileage, but from what I was told, there was nothing wrong with it before the engine quit running. So we're gonna go ahead and get that transmission off. So the Celica also apparently had its clutch replaced about 10,000 miles ago, so I'm expecting to take off this clutch and see a lot of meat left on it. And sure enough, this thing has a ton of meat left on it, so that is good news. There are some markings on the pressure plate, like some heat marks, as if this thing got a little bit hot. I'll scuff it up with the old Scotch-Brite and call it good. What up? What up? All right, Matt, so what are we doing?
Getting a new motor ready to go in.
The engine is all torn apart, timing covers off, oil pans off. We decided that the timing chain and the guides look fine in here. I'm not gonna waste my time replacing it with the other timing chain and guides. So I'm gonna just run with what's been working on this engine, and I'm just resealing up the oil pan and timing cover. So
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably get this thing resealed up and then call it for tonight. Dude, that's sweet. Dude, you know what that makes me want to do?
Turbo
The Matrix?
Matrix.
So I was daydreaming over here about Matt's turbo that he gave me and thinking about how this thing's gonna mount up. And the original plan was possibly to cut this off here because this manifold is actually cracked. That's the whole reason Matt gave it to me. And I was just gonna cut it off here, weld on like a V-band flange or something and make my own manifold. But I found out that these holes are almost exactly the same spread and diameter as the 1ZZ. So a little bit of porting, a little bit of custom, flange bolt holes. And this thing is gonna mount right on the back side of the 1ZZ like that. I think we got a plan going for the Matrix, so stay tuned for that. We are back. Sorry. Mr. Matt Ward. Got a little bit of work done behind the scenes. The new engine is on the hoist. I got the old one kind of stashed away over here until I can get it back on a stand and do some diagnosis. Got the transmission cleaned up a good bit. That was all covered in grease and oil and who knows what, so that got cleaned up. Valve cover is on the new engine, exhaust is on the new engine, and I also went ahead and cleaned up very quickly the subframe and stuff. We're gonna take it to the car wash and actually spray the thing out after the engine's in and it's running. So I got it good enough. This thing was covered in axle grease and oil, so just getting a lot of the loose stuff off makes me feel a lot better. So yeah, today the goal is now to get the transmission mated up and put it in the car. So that's exciting. And then after that, it's just getting everything hooked up and ready to
Do a burnout.
start. Yeah, do a burnout.
All right, let's get at it.
So what's the first step, Matt? What's next before we do the clutch?
We gotta do the main seal here.
Main seal. There's a slight chance that the rear main seal in here was replaced because the clutch was actually done. But that being said, we're gonna still replace it. So
I mean, you're already there, so.
yeah. All right, let's get her done. All right, I'm gonna try this with the pick and see what happens. I might have to do the old screw technique.
Self-tapper.
Yeah. Bingo. So pressure plate's on. I could not find an alignment tool. I don't know what I did with mine from the MR2. So I eyeballed it and I'm gonna see if I can line up the transmission. And if not, then I'll redo it and try again. So we're gonna see what happens. Work smarter, not harder.
Let me know if you need me.
Oh.
Dang.
Bingo. Wow, not bad. That was too easy. Man, that was much easier than a AR5 transmission putting into an LS, that's for sure. All right, cut it. Let's get this thing in the car. All right, guys, the 1ZZ is made it up to the transmission. We got the seal on the timing cover back in and the cranks on, and all the bolts in the transmission are in. This thing's just hanging here. Is there anything we're forgetting, Matt?
Put it in the car. We're forgetting to do that.
All right, guys, it is humid, it is warm. It's like a tropical rainforest in here, honestly. The engine is in the Celica. All four motor mounts are bolted up and tightened down. So the Celica officially has a new 1ZZ in it, and shouldn't be too much longer until this thing's running. But I guess this was the goal for the video, I think, just to get the engine in the car. Still got to do intake manifold, all the wiring, intake piping, and then obviously like axles and stuff, fluids, all that good stuff, and then it should be able to start right up. So exciting stuff. Glad I got these 2 quick videos in of me getting the engine out and then getting the engine back in. That way we can get this thing running and then move on to some fun stuff. I got some suspension stuff, maybe some wheel stuff, and get this thing looking cool. And then we'll see what other fun things we can do to it. As always, if you're interested in more Toyota stuff, I have this cool MR2 build going on where I'm designing my own supercharger kit. So feel free to subscribe if you are interested in that. So 2ZZ MR2 supercharger build. Celica, I got the Matrix. So a lot of Toyota stuff going on here, a lot of ZZ engines, and I'll try to keep it going. So hope you guys enjoyed and have a good night.